This is PlanetMosh.com. I'm here at Download Festival 2015. I'm joined by Mitt from Madball. How are we?
Good. How are you, man?
Yeah, I'm not doing too bad, thank you very much. Could be a bit dry, though, must admit. This is your first time playing this festival, am I right?
It is.
Have you played the UK much in the past?
Yeah, well, we come up here about once every other year or so, and you know, it's hardcore. Hardcore is a little more on a club level in the UK, so you know, we usually get up here about every other year, and we'll do 5 or 6 shows through the UK. We'll hit London, we'll hit Manchester, and you know, 2-3 spots in between, and then we'll usually get up to Glasgow, and a couple times we've gone over to Ireland as well.
Okay.
So, but yeah, we're here pretty regularly.
Yeah, what's it like being at what we call obviously the spiritual home of rock, metal, punk, all of that sort of thing?
I mean, it's cool. I mean, when I was a kid, I remember hearing about, you know, Castle Donington.
Yeah.
And you know, I used to collect bootlegs when I was younger of metal bands, and I had a lot of bootlegs from this festival. So it's another thing to kind of check off the list of things I get to do.
Now, you were born out of Agnostic Front, if I've got this right. Your frontman Freddie started fronting you when he was, smaller than I am. He was about 12, sort of thing. I mean, given the fact that you've been going now for over 25 years and things like that, what I'm trying to say, when you look back, do you think you would have got as far as you did with everything?
Okay, so, you know, for me personally speaking, I've been in the band for about 15 years now.
For the past 15 years for you know,
and even before I was in the band, I was familiar with the guys. I knew them and whatever. You know, I don't think they ever intended it to be a serious thing right at the beginning. It was you know, the Agnostic Front guys backing up Freddie and having him sing.
Yeah.
And, you know, it started to gain momentum, and then around about 93, 94, you know, it became a serious band. Like, not just a side project, not just a you know, goof, but you know, it became a serious professional band. That's when Hoya joined the band. And yeah, man, I mean, I don't even know if I thought 10 years ago that we would still be doing this in 10 years. You know, so, you know, we take it every year as it comes, and we're very grateful that we still get good enough support to travel all over the world, and you know, people still appreciate our music, and our records are still well accepted. So we're very lucky.
Yeah, you're currently, funny enough, talking about records, you're currently promoting Hardcore Lives, is that right, your 8th album?
Correct.
What were the differences between doing this one as to doing maybe Empire, which was the one before? If there were any.
No, I mean, it's the same. It's the same method. You know, we go about. We didn't do anything. I mean, every record we talk amongst ourselves about, like, what specifics we want to kind of aim for. Oh, we need a little more of this speed of tempo. Maybe we need more of these kind of songs, but the formula never really changes. I mean, you know, we're a hardcore band. We're never gonna sit down before a record and say, oh, we're gonna explore our blues side on this one, or we want to get more, write some more ballads, or, you know, I mean, you know, we know what goes into a Madball record, and every time we set out to do a new one, we're gonna add in those elements and step back and see on the last one, okay, what was this? Maybe we need to do a little more of that.
Now, you came out of the New York hardcore scene, I got that right, and I know there's a bit of a link with DMS. I think I've got going on here. You've got quite a little community. Why do you think that maybe hardcore is so potentially big over in the States, particularly around the New York area, whereas over the rest of the world it still remained relatively underground?
I mean, you still have the leftovers from the beginnings of the hardcore scene, which was the days before the internet. So every scene was its own scene, because if you were from New York, you could only get music from New York bands. You could only go to see shows of New York bands. The bands back then didn't tour. You know, maybe a Boston band would come down to New York or DC, but that was a big event when bands like that did that. So each city developed its own sound and its own style to itself. Nowadays, I think it's all blended together because the internet has made the world so small. You know, you know, nowadays, if you could be in Bangladesh and you could get a Madball record. When I was a kid, when I was young, I had to go. I grew up on Long Island, about an hour away from New York City.
Yeah.
I had to get on the train, go all the way to New York City to go record shopping to find metal records, hardcore records, anything I was listening to. You know, you had to really hunt that stuff down.
Yeah.
So.
Okay, and what's the plan afterwards, after you've done Download? What's the plan maybe going for the rest of 2015 into next year?
Well, the record came out just about a year ago now.
Yeah.
And we are just basically promoting it. You know, this summer we've got festivals. We're doing this one on this run. Next weekend we're playing Hellfest in France.
Nice.
Those are some of the more known ones. We've got some other festivals in between. You know, we're just going to be bopping over and doing the festival circuit, club shows in between, promote the record, and then maybe in a year or two's time we'll start going
through your head to Hellfest. Which stage are you playing at Hellfest? Do you know what it's called?
I don't know.
Is it called the War Zone?
Yeah, that sounds right.
It's the War Zone, because I went to Hellfest last year. The War Zone's an outdoor tent, and obviously you're inside one of the smaller tents here. I mean, do you prefer playing outdoors or indoors? Does it really matter?
I think that we pride ourselves in being able to adapt to any of them.
Nice.
You know,
yeah.
we will do a main stage. We've done main stages in Germany, open air main stage for 20,000 people, 30,000 people.
Yeah.
And then we're going to go do, like tomorrow night, we're doing a quick impromptu gig down in London.
Nice.
For maybe 150 people.
That's pretty cool.
You know, and I like it that way, because I think that if you look at these bands here, you got Kiss and Slipknot and Muse. If you're in a band like that, you're playing this stuff every day.
Yeah.
It loses its definition. You don't really have anything to contrast it against.
Fair. Nice.
You know, I think it's cool, and I think it's cool for us to be able to play for a hardcore crowd in a small club, and to come out here and maybe hopefully play for some people that don't know us.
Nice. Mitt, thank you very much. You've been an absolute pleasure.